Hi, everyone. Thank you for that amazing introduction. I want to talk to you about the worlds to come. Just as you heard, I write a newsletter about trends, technology, and society called New World, Same Humans. And as you just heard, I want to talk to you in this session about one of the big emerging shifts, one of the most exciting changes we're all talking about right now. I write a lot about it in the newsletter. We're going to talk about it a lot this afternoon, the metaverse. I want to talk to you about what the metaverse is, but much more about what it means for the lives of billions of consumers, billions of human beings out there all over the world, and the implications too for organizations, for businesses, for digital professionals like you. We know the metaverse comes in lots of guises. We've seen it like this, we've seen it like this, we've seen it like this, and we'll talk about all of those in just a second. But I have a quick definition of the metaverse that I think it's really helpful to start with. And that is saying that the metaverse is about the emergence of virtual and simulated worlds as domains of human experience. So these are about worlds that are not simply about accessing information the way we do on the internet right now. They're not just about winning. They're not about playing games and winning in any straightforward sense, because that's video games. These are virtual and simulated worlds that are about human experiences that have breadth, that are authentic, that are meaningful, that are as real to us essentially as the experiences we have in the real world. And then if we want to ask, what does the emergence of these kinds of metaversal worlds mean? There is a really simple, powerful core truth that can help us answer that question. And here's that truth. Look, as we step into these metaversal worlds, yes, they're very exciting. Yes, they're fueled by amazing technologies. But we, as we step into them, are still the same old human beings with the same old basic human needs and wants. So human beings are motivated by a set of basic needs, things like value, security, connection, excitement, love. They are very stable. They don't really change decade on decade, century on century. And as we step into these new metaversal worlds, we're going to bring those basic human needs with us. So if we want to ask, what does the emergence of these worlds mean for all of us? Well, they're going to be new domains, new spaces where human beings quest after these fundamental human needs, as we always have done all through our history. Now, human needs come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. I just want to look at three very powerful, very relevant, fundamental human needs that shape a lot of behavior inside modernity: status, social connection, and the quest for higher meaning. Because if we can understand how the metaverse is going to impact those three basic human needs, then we understand a lot about what it's going to mean for our lives and what the implications are for people like you. Okay, let's start with status, a really big, powerful human need to begin with. Human beings are status-seeking animals. We seek out things that mark us out as special among our peers. And if you look at human behavior inside modernity, inside consumer societies like the ones we live in, so much of that behavior is shaped by the quest for status. If you think about the quest for status inside traditional consumerism, it's been a lot. In the 20th century, it was a lot about the quest for high-value objects, material objects, essentially, that say, I have a lot. And we're going to see that play out. We are seeing that play out inside virtual and simulated worlds too. Here's a quick example. This is Artifact. Artifact is a US-based design agency, but they're a design agency with a difference because they're all about high-value luxury designer virtual objects. And they've started with sneakers. They're making virtual sneakers. They're minting them as NFTs and they're selling them. They sold $3 million worth of virtual sneakers in 7 minutes a couple of months ago. And as augmented reality becomes more prevalent and becomes a bigger part of our lives, we are going to see people walking around carrying or wearing high-value designer virtual objects. Here's someone wearing a pair of Artifact sneakers. They're accessible in augmented reality. So obviously at the moment, that means they're accessible through a screen. But soon, many people will be wearing augmented reality glasses. Augmented reality will be much more prevalent, and virtual objects like this will be much more accessible. So just as people right now, spend $1,000 on a pair of designer Nike sneakers and they wear them and their friends are like, check you out, we're going to see that happening in virtual ways too. The great thing about these sneakers is you can wear them forever and ever and they never get dirty. Okay, if you think about what's happened to the quest for status across the last couple of decades, we've seen a really interesting shift away from high value objects, material objects, and towards rare, amazing experiences as a marker of status. And we're already seeing that play out inside the metaverse too. We all remember the amazing concerts inside Fortnite last year. That's a great example already of a high value, rare, amazing experience that is a status marker. You have millions of people boasting, I was there inside Fortnite to watch Travis Scott play live. So how is that set to evolve? Well, here's one angle, one way it's set to evolve. I think we're going to see the emergence essentially of Instagram tourism inside metaversal worlds. And here's one example of that. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator have built an incredibly detailed, intricate one-to-one map of the Earth's surface. And it's so detailed that you essentially have people on YouTube now taking people to rare, amazing corners of planet Earth inside Microsoft Flight Simulator. Here's a video of the leading exponent of this taking hundreds of thousands of people live on a tour to Chernobyl. So just check this out quickly.
VFR map. And Chernobyl is located on the lake's left tip. So we're going to turn towards that and head in that direction right now. You can see the massive open expanse here, forest absolutely everywhere. Waterways and roads are also scattered throughout the entire region. Now, if you look out the window here, just to the left of the dashboard, you can see a smaller cluster of buildings. I'm going to jump into Big Maps for a moment and have a look at exactly what that is and get a feel for where we are. So here's the lake I mentioned just now. Over on the left, we can see Chernobyl, and north of Chernobyl is Pripyat. Here's
Okay, so that's Microsoft Flight Simulator, but we're going to build fictional worlds inside augmented reality, inside virtual reality that are absolutely vast, that are incredibly detailed, and you're going to have Instagram tourism in those worlds. So just as people right now say, look, I've hiked the Andes, I spent 4 hours meditating at the foothills of Machu Picchu, and here's the Instagram post to prove it, you're going to see that kind of behavior inside virtual and simulated worlds too. So if you want to think about what the metaverse means for billions of people and what it could mean for you as a digital professional and as an innovator, if you just see it through the lens of one need, status, the quest for status is such a powerful way to look at what the metaverse means. But let's look at another big, powerful human need, social connection. We all know human beings are social animals. We're hardwired to need social connection with one another. And we all remember what happened last year during the pandemic. Animal Crossing became, during lockdown, a space for social connection, a place where people could go to hang out with friends, to meet new friends, to serve the need for social connection when that got very difficult in the outside world. So how is that set to evolve? Well, Animal Crossing is a video game, but we are going to see virtual reality, metaversal worlds that are a lot about the basic human need for social connection. Mark Zuckerberg knows that, and Facebook know that. That's why they are busy building this Horizon, an absolutely vast, shared virtual reality world where they hope people will come to hang out in future. It's opened in private beta quite recently, so some people are in there right now. I have a quick video to show you just the look and feel of Horizon. Just check this out and then we'll talk. Have a look.
Beyond our world, there's another world. And it's right here, on my face. Welcome. This is Horizon. Think of me as your guide / self-appointed spokes avatar, here to show you around. You know, Horizon is filled with possibilities. You can play stuff, make stuff, fly stuff. Whoa! Really love the stash, Stuart.
What up, Stuart?
Wait, I want a mustache. Horizon isn't about rules or limits or pants or people telling you not to fly an airplane while drinking your fresh ground, fair trade, French press morning coffee through a curly straw. Isn't that right?
Okay, So there's a huge war about to take place about what the ultimate version of the metaverse is. Snap hopes that it's inside augmented reality. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are betting heavily that it's inside virtual reality. So Horizon is essentially Mark Zuckerberg's play to own the ultimate version of the metaverse and build a vast virtual reality city where people come to play, to create, to trade, and just to connect, just to hang out with one another. So that raises the specter of a future where Mark Zuckerberg owns the ultimate next iteration of the internet. Regulators are very busy arguing right now about Web 2.0 issues, about links to news sites. And look, yeah, we do have to sort that out. But we need to start thinking right now about what it means if Facebook owns the ultimate version of the metaverse, because that's the game they are playing right now. Okay, final big basic human need. And this is where it gets at its deepest: meaning. Human beings are meaning-seeking animals. Like deep in our nature is a need to believe that there is more to this life than just what we see around us with our own two eyes on a day-to-day basis. And if you look across all civilizations in history, all human beings essentially were guided by a set of spiritual or religious beliefs. It's very unusual to find human beings who aren't guided by those kinds of beliefs. But something special happened to us about 500 years ago. We developed a new way of looking at the world. And the scientific revolution gave us huge mastery and amazing new powers over the world around us. But it stripped us of that sense of spiritual certainty. It stripped us of a sense that our lives have ultimate meaning inside the cosmic drama that is playing out around us right now. That's called disenchantment. But the arrival of the metaverse can spell the arrival of a new chapter in that story, because we can now build virtual and simulated worlds that have meaning hard-coded back in, that deliver that sense of higher meaning, at least inside the world itself, to billions of human beings. Before we look at very quickly at ultimate spiritual meaning, let's look at political meaning. Let's take it down a rung. This is a man called Lawrence Lessig. He's a professor of political science at Harvard University. He is partnering with these people, Clang Games, and they're making a massive shared virtual space colony called Seed. Lawrence Lessig is partnering with them to design the constitution, the original political framework for this new space colony, this new space society. And they hope millions of people are going to jump in and build a new virtual society, a new virtual city, all of its own. Have a quick look at this video just to get a flavor of what they're doing, and then we'll talk.
Welcome, Voyager. We're about to reach our destination. With the demise of a habitable Earth in the Anthropocene era, Seed Industries initiated one of the most ambitious evacuation plans ever known to man. You have been chosen as one of the evacuees, a pioneer. I'm pleased to inform you that you're now approaching your destination, planet Avesta, in the Tau Ceti system, which itself is located in the constellation Cetus, 1,200 light-years from Earth. You are to be one of the first to call this home. This planet is much like Earth. It rotates on an axis resulting in northern and southern hemispheres, a diversity of biomes and climates. Our advanced scouts have chosen the island of Ilo, situated off a large continent 456 kilometers north of the equator. Air quality is good, with 20% oxygen and few spore particles. Ilo is temperate, with a rich soil made up of glacial effluvia and rocky till. The craft you are currently...
Okay, you get the picture. So they've opened up this world to a very small number of original pioneers already. Ultimately, they hope millions of people, hundreds of millions of people will come inside and build a new virtual society. Now, look, this is a video game, but what happens when we can build those kinds of worlds in augmented reality, in virtual reality too? There's no limits to what we can do with those worlds. What if we build virtual worlds where, as I said, meaning is hard-coded back in? What if we build virtual worlds where good behavior really is rewarded, where bad behavior really is punished, where there really is a higher power, at least in this world, looking down on you and looking after you? We can build worlds that serve that deep human need for higher meaning. you start to think it might be possible to build a virtual utopia. But, and I hinted at this earlier, it's also very possible that we'll build virtual dystopias. Extremely powerful people are lining up to try to be the masters of these new worlds, to be the people who build the worlds, who invite the people in and who profit from them. And before we get too excited about virtual utopias, and it is an extremely exciting prospect, we also need to think hard about power and structures of power in the real world and how that's all going to play out. It's all up to all of us. Now, look, 3 human needs: status, social connection, the quest for higher meaning. If you see the metaverse through the lens of those fundamental human needs that shape so much behavior inside modernity, you will be empowered to understand what the metaverse means for the lives of billions of people and also for your life as an innovator, your life as a business person. You'll be able to see the opportunities and the risks that the metaverse presents. I hope that's been useful. You can read a lot more about this trend, because I write about it a lot, in my newsletter, New World, Same Humans, and that's where you can find me. But thank you so much for listening. It's been super fun. Thank you for having me.